Speaking of justice, you guys, it seems that the two men that were responsible for killing Jam Master Jay way back in 2002, they have finally been arrested. 56-year-old Ronald Washington and 36-year-old Carl Jordan. I was like 36 years old. He was 18 years old when that happened. But anyway, they were arrested and charged with murder while engaged in drug trafficking. I was reading up on it and I was like, I had always read that they knew exactly who killed Jam Master Jay, but nobody was saying. And then when I was reading up on it today, supposedly the Ronald Washington guy was living with Jam Master Jay, was staying on his couch, was down on his luck, and Jam Master Jay was letting him crash on his couch or whatever. And that one evening when Jam Master Jay was at the studio with a bunch of people, they say that Ronald Washington came in with a gun, made everybody lay down on the floor other than Jam Master Jay, who was, I guess, standing in the, wherever he was. But he had everybody else lay down, head, to the ground. And then that was when Jordan came in, the 18-year-old, and he was masked so nobody could see his face, but he shot Jam Master Jay in the head and killed him. So they at least knew that Ronald Washington was involved. He went on the run, okay? He was out still robbing, doing what he was doing. He eventually got arrested in 2013. So he's been in jail all this time for other robberies and crimes that he committed. The Jordan guy, they ended up catching up with him on Sunday, just this past Sunday, and arrested him. And he, of course, has pled not guilty. They're saying that he's supposed to be arraigned sometime in this week. I don't know if he has or hasn't yet. But yeah, you guys, all these years later, they have finally brought the people to justice. I guess it's bittersweet for, the family, because even when you get a conviction, I mean, I guess that does help a lot when you finally charge the person that's responsible. But the person, your loved one is gone, dead, gone, and won't come back, and then violently and tragically so I'm sure they're happy, but they're still upset that Jason Mizell, which is his real government name, is no longer here. But yeah, if they did it, then they need to go to jail for it. I mean, the other one is already in there, but yeah, the 36-year-old Carl Jordan, he deserves to be in jail as well. I remember when that story hit, I was heartbroken. I was like, not Jam Master Jay. You never hear nothing bad about Jam Master Jay. Nothing. I'm sure we'll hear if these two are convicted, but at least that chapter is closed. I was going to talk about this story and let's talk about it, but I was like, let me go on and just put it in the top of the blog since it's D.L. Hughley. So D.L. Hughley was at the airport. He was in between flights, evidently, and he was having breakfast. Angela Stanton, if you guys don't know who that is, she is the woman who had gone to jail from the shit that she was doing with Apollo, and she claims Phaedra, even though Phaedra was never charged for anything, both she and Apollo went to jail for all the illegal shit. Apollo ended up going back to jail for some other shit, but originally they had done some shit together, some white collar crime shit together, and this is the girl that's written a book about it and implicated Phaedra as well. So anyway, Angela Stanton King, I believe is her full name now. She is also a YSAP supporter. So much so that I had to block her on Instagram. I mean, she's never going to look at my stuff or pay any attention to me. But just seeing her comments, I was just like, I can't. I'm tired of seeing this. So I had to go on and block her out so I didn't have to see her because she's all over Shade Room. But anyway, she was in the same airport as D.L. Hughley. So he has spoken negatively about her in the past, and she thought this would be a good time to confront him. So she went up to him, and her story goes that she went up to him, she confronted him about, talking negatively about her just because she supports YSAP, and she said that he folded like a little punk that he is, and ended up calling his security on her. Okay, now that is her recollection. D.L. Hughley said that, no, what happened was I was sitting there eating my breakfast. He said she walked up to me. She didn't have a face mask on. All right, that's the first problem. She comes up to me and she asked me if I thought that she was a coon just because she supported YSAP. And he said, I responded that, you know, if you are black and you support Trump, then you definitely are a coon. She didn't like that. Their confrontation got louder and louder to the point where his security stepped in, because that is what security is supposed to do, de-escalate a situation. That's what I paid them to do. He said things were getting louder and louder, and yeah, they stepped in. He said security is there for the exact same reasons why you wear makeup. It's to keep people from seeing things get ugly. So whose story do you believe out of that? I just don't understand the black Trump supporter, okay? But he has pardoned her from her jail, you know, her convictions. He pardoned her when he was pardoning all those other people. So now she's really devoted to him. And yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, people are, I mean, that's her thing. That's her thing. So I can't even, but that's the situation with Miss Angela and D.L. Hughley. All right, you guys. So I have a rest in peace to, you guys know Deborah Lee, the former CEO for BET. Her son, 31-year-old Quinn Coleman, died from unknown causes. The family has not put out what he died from, but he was a DJ, a known DJ. DJ Spicoli, I believe is what his name was. He also was an A&R executive at Capitol Records. And yeah, he has died. The family has asked for privacy, you know, as they mourn, you know, his death. But I'm wondering when they don't really say what the issue was. I mean, we've seen pictures of him. He was a handsome kid and otherwise looked healthy. You know, I'm wondering if there may have been some drug, like a drug overdose. But everyone is saying that they were in complete shock that this happened. So at any rate, I'm sure Deborah Lee is heartbroken, her and her family. I can't even imagine, you guys. There's not much about him. I tried to look it up on social media, but the family is trying to stay pretty quiet about it right now. So all I can say is rest in peace to Quinn Coleman. All right, you guys, in white people news, they say lottery lawyer Jason Curlin, he stole $107 million from his lottery winner clients. Okay, evidently, Mr. Curlin and 3 other of his associates at the law firm that he worked at, they were representing lottery winners and had been doing it for years and years and years. They said that the lottery winners that they represented amassed $3 billion in lottery winnings, okay? And that his website, which is now down, but the way he brought in new clients is that he was promising that he would invest their money so that they would, you know, their generations of their family would continue to have this money, that, you know, the interest would, you know, the money would grow. So that is how he got his clients. Like I said, $3 billion worth of lottery winners, and he was able to get $107 million. When you're dealing with $3 billion, $107 million ain't nothing. So that's probably why he was getting away with it. Well, he wasn't really getting away with it so long. They said he started this whole little scam in April of 2019 and found out somewhere around the summer, this summer, that the feds were onto him, okay, and that they were interviewing the lottery winners. A lot of the ones that he was representing, they were interviewing them. So him and then the 3 guys that he worked at the law firm were on the cell phone and having conversations about, you know, what they can do to try to rectify this. You know, then they decided that they were going to start giving the money back to these people that they had stolen from, because like I said, 107 million in the grand scheme, I mean, that's buku. That's a whole bunch of fucking money to you and me. But when you're talking about 3 billion, you know, and then 107 million divided between 4 guys, and then, you know, like I can see how this money can just, you can skim a little bit off of each of these people and they maybe probably wouldn't even have noticed it right away. If you heard me say that they were talking on their cell phones, now you know that that's a federal law, a federal crime. You discussing doing illegalities on a cell phone. They had tapped into it. So now they're getting them on wire fraud and mail fraud and all type of charges. They went on and arrested that ass the other day. It's so funny because when you think about the lotto, I actually just had a friend, okay, that won $100,000. Her husband won it on a scratch off. And I was just like, girl, you are fucking kidding me. Like, who wins? But her husband has won a lot. Like, he plays those $10. That's why I ain't never gonna win, because I can't see myself paying no $10 for a scratch off. But everybody says that them $10 scratch offs are the ones that really pay. And yeah, he won $100,000. I was like, girl, you kidding me? Ooh, can you imagine? But when you start getting into the millions of dollars, I guess you do have to talk to somebody that's going to help you figure out what to do with all this cash. And we've heard story after story of lottery winners going broke, trying to take care of all their fucking family, extended family, friends. They got people out there who for a living go around and reach out to lottery winners and ask them for their money, okay, and play on the sympathy card and guilt them into giving them money. So there's like a lot of predators going out there for them lottery winners, and a lot of them fall in the trap and become broke after winning millions of dollars, you guys. So I guess you do have to trust your money with somebody that's going to do the right thing with it. It's just Mr. Jason was not the right one, okay? He was not doing the right thing. And now him and his boys going to jail. And actually, when you read the story, it looks like they was running it, you know, they're considering it something like an organized crime, you know, and yeah, it looks like they coming after them heavy. So what would you do if you won the lotto, y'all? I'm sure you would buy what you needed to do, but yeah, you would need to invest it. That money would need to work for you, and you'd be able to live comfortably and make whatever you can off of it. But you know, some people just go crazy, be out there buying 4 and 5 houses for all their family and all that. You know, you done won $3 million and you trying to do all this. So, but just to win. But yeah, when my girlfriend told me her husband won $100,000, I was like, girl, what? Ooh, I would love that, y'all. Anyway, that's what's going on with the white folks news today. All right, you guys, your boy August Alsina, he just don't seem to go away. He just does not seem to go away. Now he has a interview with People magazine where he's actually talking about why he told us about the relationship with him and Jada Pinkett Smith. I was just like, August, you just gonna keep on talking, huh? Like, nobody cares anymore. Like I told you guys in my last Top of the Blogs Extra when we were talking about him and Jada Pinkett Smith, Jada and Will shot the shit out of that story. Like, they just took all of the fucking steam out of it. It didn't have no more momentum because she didn't admit it to it. So now what else do we need to talk about? But he said that he's always been a private person, but there were all these stories going around that was a lot of gossip, and it was starting to interrupt his business dealings. You know, he was having to hear about the story, and it was keeping him from closing different business deals. So he had to speak out to protect his career. He has to take care of his 3 nieces. You know, he takes care of his nieces from his brother that was killed, and then the mother recently died from cancer. I can't see how any of that he did helps his career. I cannot see how that helps him in any way, because once all of the dust settles, nobody is really going to be checking for August like that. Like, once we get past the, you know, the whole spectacularness of blasting Jada and the story and all of that, after that, Jada and Will gonna still go on to be a couple with a whole bunch of money, and August is still gonna be the one who told. I don't think that was going to help his business dealings. I don't know how that would help his career, but he seems to believe that it will. Does anybody know of any of his songs from his last album? He had a double album that came out. I have not heard one song on the radio. The only song that I have heard was the Entangled song, or Entanglement song, or whatever that he had with Rick Ross. They was playing that on the radio out here. I don't know if they still do, because I'm rarely in the car, but yeah, he said that he just did that just so he can take back over his life. Time will tell if, you know, if that has affected him positively. But like I said, somebody quick tell me the name of one of his songs off his last album. And lastly, you guys, it seems that MC Lyte has filed for divorce from her husband of 3 years, Marine Corps vet John Weish. Okay, they met on Match.com 3-4 years ago. You guys remember when she was talking about him and saying that, you know, she had met her king, that he made it so that she didn't never feel like she had to change herself, or, you know, that she could be open and honest with him, and that he didn't hold anything against her. You know, I think she said that she saw honesty and truth in his eyes. Okay, she was in love, and madly in love, with Mr. John Weish. So they got married in 2017. I think I remember seeing it in Essence magazine, and, you know, she said it was like a fairy tale. And, you know, I was just like, wow, that's an interesting story, that, you know, she met this guy online, and that, you know, she had hidden her name until they met in person. And, you know, you guys remember the story, right? Well, now fast forward from 2017 to 2020, MC Lyte said, you can take all this crown and honesty and truth in your eyes and get the fuck on. She is ready to be done, citing irreconcilable differences. I don't know much about the husband. You know, he kept a pretty low profile this whole time, but it seemed like their relationship just was whirlwind, and that, you know, they met one minute and the next minute they was getting married. So, I mean, I guess she gave it the old school try. I mean, 3 years, but yeah, she said to hell with this, y'all. So that's it. I'm sure MC Lyte will be fine. I'm sure John will be fine too. Maybe she can get back with some of her old flames. I know one in particular is single right now. Maybe they could hook back up. That's it. We do this every single week, so make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back.